all the counties in the GRADD area are currently working on becoming either work-ready communities or work-ready communities in progress. This is something that's going to be really important to our region as we move forward, because it focuses on the kinds of things that attract stable employers that we're all interested in. It ensures that those employers will have a workforce that is well-educated, well-trained, well-prepared to meet the challenges that are coming down the pike. And probably as important as both of those things is the requirement that in looking at work-ready communities, we look at building collaborations that include government, education, workforce development, and economic development. And merging these things together toward a common goal is what really the strategic plan for workforce development in Kentucky is all about. Well, Daviess County applied last fall for the designation of work-ready community, and we were lucky enough to receive that designation in February. Since then, we've been trying to put into place all the things that we promised we'd do when we submitted our application. And the things that we need to do are not things that can be done just overnight, and they're not things that can be done by just one group. The first thing that we're working on together is our soft skills certification. Pam talked about some programs that they've been doing in Henderson County. In Daviess County, we're looking at making a soft skills certification available to every high school senior. We've talked to a lot of employers. We've read a lot of reports. We've looked at a lot of advice from a lot of people, and I want to share just a couple of quotes with you. Things that have really been at the heart of what we are about. The first is from Carly Fiorina, who was the CEO of Hewlett-Packard. And Ms. Fiorina said, you can keep your tax incentives and you can keep your relocation packages. We will go where the well-trained workers are. Now, that's our bottom line. That's where we want to start. We want to meet the needs of employers like that. Well, then we looked at some data that was provided by an organization called the Public Agenda Foundation. It found this: 67% of parents of high school students and 78% of high school teachers believe that graduating high school seniors are well prepared to enter the workforce. Unfortunately, only 41% of employers agreed. So we've got a disconnect here over what is perceived to be the production of a well-qualified, work-ready young person and what the reality is when they get to the workforce. To make it even worse, Results Matter is a report that was put out by the Partnership for 21st Century Skills. And people who participated in that group are organizations like Time Warner, Cisco Systems, Ford, Bell South, Texas Instruments. They concluded even if every student in the country met our traditional education standards, they would still be woefully underprepared for success beyond high school. Now, you know that nationwide there has been an effort to up the standards for performance at the high school. And new assessments have gone into place just this past year to measure that. But what I hear employers talking about really has not much to do with schoolwork and has a lot to do with the way people function in the world. They tell me about people who come to work who, well, actually don't come to work. They tell me about people who come to work but rarely come on time. They tell me about people who can't get along as a part of a team. They tell me about people who don't want to accept any responsibility. They tell me about people who show up and then fuss and fight with everybody they come in contact with, and want to know when they get their first vacation. That's the first question. And the second is, when are they going to get a promotion? Clearly, there are some things that we need to do and that we can do together to address those issues. We got together first in Daviess County with the school superintendents, and we had three: the city school superintendent, the county school superintendent, and the Catholic school superintendent. And we got them on board with doing some sort of soft skills program in each of their high schools. Then we added business and labor representatives. No reason putting something in place that doesn't meet the needs that employers are saying they have. We had workforce development people and economic development people. We had some foundation folks. We brought people together and we talked about what we could do. And what the employers said they'd like was a credential that let them know that a candidate for a position had a record of responsibility. That was step one. So we put into place some criteria. If we're going to create a certificate, then what are the criteria for earning it? The standards can't be too low. We're not just going to pass these out to everybody who walks through the door. It's not meaningful to the employers. So the first thing is a set of objective standards that these students can meet. So we said, during your senior year, no more than 2 unexcused absences. No more than 2 unexcused tardies. No discipline referrals for things like fighting or vandalism or possession of firearms or illegal substances on campus or theft. A GPA during your senior year of 2.5 or better with no failures. Now, I have 3 boys, and senior year was a trial for us at our house every time one of them got to be a senior. They mostly finished all the coursework that they needed for graduation, and they were ready to coast. And let me tell you, one of them really coasted almost right out the door. So we want to make sure that they stay focused their senior year and give them a reason for being there. We also are asking that they show us that they have participated in at least 2 extracurricular activities, which include a part-time job if they have one. That would count as an extracurricular or co-curricular activity, or volunteer work in the community. So they're going to demonstrate responsibility, they're going to demonstrate leadership, they're going to demonstrate that they know the importance of showing up and showing up on time. And they'll have a piece of paper to take to an employer that says, I have a history of being a responsible person. You can count on me to be a responsible employee. Then we added to that some of the kinds of things that Pam talked about. There's a wonderful junior achievement program that some of our high schools will be using this year. A 6-part program that covers things like communication and teaching students that communication is not just talking, it's also listening, teaching them to, through some hands-on and role-playing activities, to replicate some situations in the workforce and teach them how to deal with those situations as they move along. This is a win-win-win. Our schools win. They're giving up some time in the senior year of the student for these courses that will cover, usually a 6-part course, some of these workplace readiness skills. But they're going to get support for their efforts to ensure that every student is college and career ready when they walk out the door. The students are going to win because we're going to give them a cord to wear at graduation, and some of these students won't be the ones who have a bunch of things already hanging around their necks. There'll be people who are not planning to go to college right away, and they will have built a record that will help them get through that door, we hope. It's also a win for the business community, that there will be something that they can look at that actually will show them for the first time whether some of their applicants have met these criteria or not that they talk about wanting in all of their employees. Now, we need some folks to take the lead on this. And you're going to have a program that is going to deal with soft skills in every one of your counties as you move into this arena of becoming work ready or work ready in progress. Wouldn't it be great if the county governments said, when we hire somebody, a young person, we're going to ask if they have a work ready certificate, and we're going to give them an edge if all other things are equal, because they do. Wouldn't it be great if we had GRADD say that if they're employing somebody right out of high school, they're going to ask for that certification? Because let me tell you, the kids are going to figure out real quickly if this doesn't mean anything in the real world. If it doesn't mean anything to employers, it's not going to mean anything to them. And that's where we get to this idea of collaboration. And I'm going to quit right after I tell you this. You know, collaboration is an interesting word. And people look at it in a lot of different ways. You know, there were collaborators in World War II, and we did not like them. We thought they sold out, but we called them collaborators. There are people who say they love collaboration, and that means I'm going to talk to you until you do it my way. And then we'll collaborate to get it done. And then there's the kind of collaboration that we need if we want our communities to be really strong and really prepared to move forward. And that is where each of us brings something to the table that is of importance to the group as a whole. And that's what we're asking you to do with our soft skills certification. I'll be up here. I'd love to sign you up as being among our very first employers to say that they are going to use this new certification as a part of their hiring process.